don't forget to sign up for our free resource from our favorite positive reinforcement dog trainer, Irit Bloom. You can simply go to thisispawprint.com/ask.
Being responsible for another life, you have an experience of taking care of something else besides you. I think it opens up your heart more. They just have a huge impact in your life, no matter how short of a time you have them or how long you have them in your life.
This is Paw Print, an animal rescue community, episode 42. I'm Harold Rhee.
And I'm Nancy Rhee. Today's guest is Sunnie Hong Paderanga. Sunnie balances full-time work, marriage, and 2 children with her work growing her Rodan Fields skincare consultant business. Today, she shares stories about her dog Cooper and the influence of her father.
If you want to learn more about today's episode, including some photos of Cooper and Sunnie's unbelievably smooth complexion, go to our show notes at thisispawprint.com/42. That's the number 42.
I am married with 2 children, a boy and a girl. I work full-time. I am an administrative professional by trade, and I also am a business owner. Currently, it's a side business, but my goals and aspirations is to do that full-time, and it's Rodan Fields, which is a skincare company. It's an anti-aging line that's from the doctors who created Proactive. When I mention that, people are a little more familiar with that.
There's a lot of entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs who are on the Rodan Fields bandwagon, right? Great.
Definitely.
How long have you been doing the Rodan Fields, and what do you like about it?
So it's been about a year and a half. And it's definitely been some ups and downs, and I think that's the case for any business that people own. What I like about it the most is the fact that people who have skin issues, it's a major detriment to their self-esteem sometimes, especially if they have acne or scarring or, a lot of sun damage. And so to help people with problems like that with a over-the-counter product that they don't need prescriptions for and that's affordable for people to use, that's really, really awesome. There's been a lot of things that I've learned about myself while doing this business, because up until now, I've always been in corporate America. In my role as an administrative professional, I'm always on behind the scenes, taking care of things that needs to be taken care of and kind of, foresee what may be needed, etc. And I'm never in the forefront. And with this business, I am it, at least for me. And so there are quite a number of interesting things that I've learned while doing it.
What are some of the lessons Sunnie Hong Paderanga has learned about herself?
So I've always thought I was pretty outgoing and to a certain extent an extroverted person, although there are times where I've enjoyed my alone time and be by myself. Doing this business, I realized I'm actually an introvert that has an outgoing personality. And it sounds totally an oxymoron, but apparently this exists because I'm not the only person who's like this. And so I thought that was really, really interesting. One of the best advices that I have recently heard, and I think I've only really heard it because I'm doing this business, is failure is not the end. Failure is a stepping stone to success. You look at a lot of historical figures and things that they've done, they've maybe failed a million times, and that one time that they succeeded has kept them alive all these years and whatever inventions they may have made or whatever discoveries they've made.
Yeah.
And so failure is a scary thing, but when you think of it as, well, it's a stepping stone to get to my goal, to succeed, it's a little less scary. So I thought that was kind of cool.
A year and a half in, it's still a young business. What's been the biggest success in your opinion, and what's been the biggest struggle?
Just reaching out to people. And what I mean by that is, like, for instance, in social media, reaching out to friends of friends that I might have met once or twice in a mutual party or something. I would have never really reached out to them in the past, but I do that now to grow my network and just to kind of socialize myself. I'm outgoing, but in a smaller circle than when it's a big group of people. When I first started my business and I launched my business, I had a little launch party at my house. I decided, you know what, I'm just going to tag everybody on my Facebook connection and invite them and see if they would come. And in the past, I don't think I would have ever done that because the first thing I would have done was, oh, wait a minute. If I do this, am I going to annoy my friends? Are they going to be like, oh my gosh, Sunnie's trying to sell me something and I don't want to feel pressured if I go there and she's putting me on the spot and etc.
All the kind of, I don't know, self-criticism, right?
Yes, exactly. I decided, you know what? I'm just going to close my eyes, hit send, and see what happens. And I think my fear was worse than reality because nobody ever came back and was like, Sunnie, I cannot believe that you're sending me this event request to come and, support you in this business. I don't even know what you're doing, etc. I've never had that kind of reaction, but that's always the fear in me that, people are going to react that way. That's the self-talk that happens a lot, especially in a network type business, which is what I'm doing. I love what I do. I love this business. I love our products. I use it every day.
Thanks for sharing that because there's a lot of folks who either are entrepreneurs, want to be entrepreneurs, and think about it, that's the biggest thing that holds any of us back.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Anybody who in this business or even outside of this business who inspires you?
My dad. And the reason why I say my dad, for people who don't quite understand Korean culture, and I'm Korean, by the way, is men of his generation, they just didn't really take care of children or, domestic things. That's what the women did. That's what the wife did. And divorce was still a rarity in his generation. But my parents got divorced when me and my brother were fairly young in elementary school age. And so he ended up getting sole custody of us. And so he raised us as a single parent, working really, really long hours, 6 days a week. So he only had one day off. He didn't come to the U.S. until I think he was in his early 40s, I believe. Yeah, so he had really never learned English completely. And so that was another thing. He had a language barrier. He's coming to another country and then divorced with 2 children, trying to make ends meet. Throughout it all, there are definitely ups and downs, and us at the time as kids were not very helpful. And so it was, a total struggle for him, which he had never really shown to us. And I never understood until I had my own children. And I can only fathom what it must have been like, to be a single parent. And he was an entrepreneur, like a lot of immigrants who come to the U.S. because of language barriers. They a lot of the times, start a small business. And he worked at his friend's store and then eventually bought it out from his friend. And then that's what he did for many, many, many years. And that's how he paid the rent and put food on the table and, all of that. And so I just find that amazing. And when I think about that and how I grew up, I may not be the 1% of the wealthy in the U.S. I might be qualified as a middle class. I don't know, economically. When I think about all of that, I just feel so blessed with all the things that I have. And, I thank God every day for what we do have. And I try to see all the positives in my life versus focusing on like, well, I don't have this and I can't do this and, all that kind of stuff, which can go on forever if you let it.
I know your dad a little bit, and I did not know that story. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Because I lived in an apartment, I was never able to have a dog, and I've always wanted to growing up. When I met my husband, we decided to adopt a dog, and his name is Cooper. We got him from ARF, which is in Walnut Creek. He was the perfect dog for me. Because I've had cats growing up, because you can kind of hide cats and they're not loud. In an apartment, you can't really hide dogs because they bark. So I've had cats and they're by nature very independent. And I was totally fine with that. As much as I love dogs, I didn't realize how needy they could be. But Cooper was not the case. He was very independent for the most part, still very loving. So he was absolutely the perfect dog for us, for me. He was very sweet, very gentle. I think for almost a year, because he was a rescue, and ARF generally rescues dogs from other rescue centers, they didn't have any history about Cooper in terms of his previous owners or anything. And so the picture in my mind was his original owner, or the previous owner to us, was some elderly lady who just kept him, and he was just like her companion, and he was a very calm dog. For almost a year, I'm like, this dog doesn't bark, so I wonder if they might have severed his vocal cords or something. And, that made me kind of sad, but he never barked. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess he can't bark. And then one day we had left him outside for a little bit longer than he had liked. And so he started howling. And then that's when I realized, oh no, his vocal cords are fine. He just isn't a barker, which is wonderful. ARF provided some basic training for free for adopting him from there. So we took him to that, and he was really good with training. And so even after we finished all of that, right after we adopted him, he was really good about, when we tell him to sit or go to bed or, go outside. He was just an excellent, excellent dog. And I think I am spoiled for life, because for the rest of my life, every dog, I'm going to end up comparing them to Cooper. And I don't know that any one of them is ever going to match up with him. But then again, he was also my first dog. So he definitely has a special place in my heart. And we adopted him when he was about 2, and he actually passed away earlier this year in mid-January.
Oh.
And he was 13 when he passed away. So he had a really, really good life with us. We really, really enjoyed him. He was one of the best dogs anyone can ever have.
How did Cooper change you?
When we had Cooper, we didn't have kids yet. Fears that new parents have is my dog going to be okay with a baby in the house, because the dog was there first. And I've heard some stories where it didn't go very well, to the point where it was so bad that the family had to give up their dog because it was just a really, really bad situation. And I was so worried about that. And I'm not sure why I was so worried, because there was no need. He had never shown any aggressive behaviors at all. And so I think kind of that fear of stereotypes that dogs may have sometimes, I think he kind of got rid of all of those fears for me. He also taught me how to be, I guess, a leader in the pack with dogs. That's generally how it's communicated. I'm the leader, so you need to follow me and respect me and that kind of thing. Those are some of the things that he was able to do for me.
If someone was ever going to ask, why should I consider animal rescue? What would you say?
In my point of view, unless the main reason for you to get a purebred dog is because you want to enter a dog show or breed, if you're getting a dog for companionship, I don't understand why it needs to be a certain breed of dog. Because yes, each breed has a generalized temperament, but even within that, each dog is their own dog and with their own personality. And with all the excess dogs or pets out there that need a home, do you really need to go and get a purebred puppy from a breeder? And worst case scenario, are these puppies coming from a puppy mill, which are not usually the best places for dogs.
Thanks for sharing that. What does 2016 what does the next 12 months look like for Sunnie Hong Paderanga?
To take my business to the next level, kick it up a notch, like simple goals, but not always so simple.
It never is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
How do folks find you, whether it's website, social media?
My Rodan Fields website is sunnyp.myrnf.biz.
How about social media?
Social media, you can find me on Facebook. That might be the easiest way to find me. Just search for Sunnie Hong Paderanga and you'll find me there. My Instagram, you can find me by searching for sunnypad_RF. On Twitter, you can find me under Sunnie Paderanga, all one word.
Okay. And of course, we'll put all those links in our show notes.
Great. Thank you. I think that animals really soften up your heart. They're definitely a companion, and dogs more so than cats, obviously. They are very loyal animals. They love you to the end. They're just sweet creatures. Anybody who has the opportunity to grow up with a dog or any kind of pet, it provides them with love, being responsible for another life. You have an experience of taking care of something else besides you. I think it opens up your heart more. They just have a huge impact in your life, no matter how short of a time you have them or how long you have them in your life.
In your own defense, sounds like you're favoring dogs over cats, but you've been a cat owner as well, correct?
Yes. And personally, after having Cooper, and as perfect of a dog as he is, I realized after having him that I am still more of a cat person than a dog person. But my son is allergic to cats. If he wasn't, I probably would still have both cats and dogs because I love dogs as well. I just kind of lean a little more to cats. I love them all.
We want to say thank you to Sunnie Hong Paderanga for sharing her story. If you want to learn more about Sunnie Hong Paderanga, go to our show notes at thisispawprint.com/42. If you'd like to nominate someone to be a future guest on Paw Print, you can email us at thisispawprint@gmail.com or go to our contact page, thisispawprint.com/contact. Don't forget we're giving out 2 free resources from our favorite positive reinforcement dog trainer, Irit Bloom. Go to thisispawprint.com/ask to sign up. If you want to find me and Nancy on social media, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Look for This Is Paw Print, all one word. If you want to listen to more episodes of Paw Print, you can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and we're pleased to announce, with the help of our son Dylan, that we have a new YouTube channel. Go to thisispawprint.com/YouTube to listen to all the Paw Print episodes in one place. We want to say thank you to all of you, our listeners out there, for inspiring us with your stories and for sharing Paw Print with your friends and family. We want to welcome our listeners from Cary, North Carolina, Rio Rancho in New Mexico, and New Albany, Ohio. You spread a positive message of love and peace by saving an animal. Have a great day, everyone, and see you next time on Paw Print.
Paw Print is a production of EVER Education.
You can't handle the truth.
Woohoo!